To the time where we want to have that very important conversation. It is the 5th of September, the year 2021, and every year around this time, we usually mark what we call the International Day of Charity. So if you've heard about the word charity, it's all about giving, it's all about helping, it's all about being there for somebody who is vulnerable, somebody who you can bless. It could be material, it could be just being there for them emotionally, whichever way you choose to do an act of kindness to somebody. But today we want to do something a little bit different, because many a times we give and we're not really sure whether what we are doing is right, or which we could have given more, we could have done something different. You question yourself a lot. Others have stayed away from giving because of the mistrust and a lot of issues of con men who've come into, the world, and you feel like, let me keep what I have for myself. So we just want to clear the air, and I want to do this program differently on this International Day of Charity by bringing in a story that will really inspire you to extend a helping hand next time you meet somebody who needs it. And joining me in studio right about now is none other than Joseph Njoroge, Wanyoike. Joseph is actually a trained engineer by profession. As he sits here, he could have not been here today sharing this story were it not for somebody who extended a helping hand. So let's start there. Joseph, thank you so much for creating time. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Serfine, and for this opportunity. I'm so grateful to be here. My name, as you have said, is Joseph Njoroge, born Eldoret in a slum called Kamkunji, in a family of a single mother with 4 children. So I had 1 sister and 3 brothers. And life at slum is a difficult life. And back in Eldoret, my family was so much dysfunctional, such that our single mother could not provide anything for our family. So that messed everything in the family. So it was just struggle for the fittest from childhood. And at the age of 5-6 years, I had already tested alcohol, busa, changa, because that is something that was common in our local area with the rest of the boys. Slowly by slowly, at the age of 16, I could go collect scrap metals in Nairobi, in Eldoret town, and come back with something, and maybe bring some milk at home or something. I had already learned that from my elder brother. I was trained to steal, pickpocketing, also drug addiction, and also drug trafficking.
So this was when you were around what age? That is
7 years.
Around 7 years. You're already doing all this, going to town, picking up scrap metal, selling, stealing, and drinking alcohol. Using some drugs.
Yes, and also exploring Kenya. Like when I was that age, I went to Kitale, I went to Kakamega, I went to Nakuru. And finally, at the age of 9 years, I came to Nairobi town.
So how do you go? Do you book a bus or what? How do you go?
It's a very funny story.
To do what?
Exactly? We were so dirty. By the time I left home, I left at the age of 7 years completely, and I never went home back again. We could sleep in trashes and everything. And so that means that we never took shower. So I was thinking, but when you give money to someone for help, I think money doesn't smell. So when I gave to a conductor some 40 shillings, he put me in a boot in a Eldoret Express. So when he opened the key boot early in the morning, I slept on top of the luggages, and I came to Nairobi, that way. And from there I started another life in Nairobi, and it was a bit in another level. Street kids in Nairobi is not the same as
greener pastures.
Yeah, they are greener pasture, but it's not easy anyway. The more, because it's easy, you get money easily, but also you risk your life more.
All right.
Because
sorry to cut you short. We sit here and we laugh about it.
Yeah.
And for some people who've not experienced it may think, it's easy. Sometimes we even look at the street kids and we're like, some people ignore them. Some people have this negative attitude towards them. As somebody who has been in the streets, how would you describe that particular life?
Street life is life of desperation. It's life of no hope. It's life of there's no any sense of direction. So the public is the one that should give proper direction. The public means the teachers, the doctors, the church religious leaders are the people who should give proper direction to these kids. But you find maybe out of 1,000 people who pass a long way where one street kid is, where he's begging, for example, maybe only 2 people out of 100 can be able to listen to them. So it's a life that makes them feel so much emaciated and brings them to very low self-esteem situation, that they are not able to cope up with the situation. That's why they keep on looking at themselves and feel that we don't belong to this community. It's not ours.
Okay. Njoroge, many times people ask, why did you end up in the street? This is a question many are asked. For you, if you look at your story and if you look at the circumstances under which you and your family existed then, what pushed you from home to the streets, that you ended up spending all those years in the streets?
The same way you said before, better pastures, greener pastures. Because when at home, it was not easy to afford maybe 3 meals in a day. Rather, even 1 meal in a day was not easy. So when I went to the street first, and I came when my stomach was full. I felt that is the best way. First of all, I went because of my stomach. But after going there, I found other things that I got engaged into. But first, I went because of my stomach.
So here you are, you leave the comfort of your house. Okay, it wasn't that comfortable, according to how you're describing it, to go and find something to eat. And then you turn into somebody else. Tell us about this somebody that grew in the streets. Who did Geroge become?
I was innocent when I joined the street.
Yes.
I had taken alcohol, but not in that extent. But when I went to the street, I was introduced to glue. The boys whom I found like friends in the street, they told me this one brings out stress. You don't remember about home anymore. It gives you courage to steal when you want to take something and you are high. You don't think, and sometimes when someone hits you after stealing, you don't even feel pain. And actually, I tried it, and I attempted to steal, and I was hit like ngumi, a blow, and I never felt it. So it became like something.
Lifestyle.
So anything I used to get from the street, I took it towards. I was collecting any money towards satisfying myself in terms of revolving into drug addiction and other things like stealing and being violent. So many things that we did in the street that a normal kid who stays with parents cannot do
at that age.
Yes.
So it started by just looking for food. Then you started getting addicted into some some of these drugs and alcohol, and now you needed money to even facilitate that lifestyle. I just want to understand what your turning point was. At what point? Because today it's International Day of Charity. Somebody somewhere did something. No wonder you're here sitting here as an engineer today. And also you run a center that is rescuing children. Tell us a little bit about first that turning point.
I'm going to talk about two special people. That is Dr. Muli and Mami Muli. Mami Esther, the wife of Dr. Muli, who found me in the street. I stayed in the street and the life became so difficult. I started admiring to come out. Because the more I lived in the street, I became enemy of everyone. So the policemen, the kanjo, the business people, nobody wants you. Until that point when I met Dr. Muli in the streets of Eldoret, and he welcomed me. He was the first man out of 1 million who hugged me. With all my stickingness and my dirtiness, my mouth was smelling and everything.
You didn't know each other?
We didn't know each other.
Do you remember the time?
Actually, I had a mark on my face. I had a scar, which I got burned in the street, and it was very painful. That is the time when I was rescued. And this man hugged me and they kissed me. And I remember I was given new clothes. I thought it's a dream. So I was admitted at Muli Children's Family, and I was given a chance. And because of the behaviors in the street had sunk into my mind, it was very difficult to change. But this man never gave up. He stood by me. He gave me hope. He made sure that I had food. He made sure I had good health. And despite all, he made sure that I am a successful person.
So these two strangers, they come and they find you in this desperate situation. They don't know you, you're not related.
You can imagine.
And they're here and they're actually embracing you. How do you describe that moment? How do you describe what it has done to you as a person, as Njoroge?
I felt loved. I even felt forgiven. Like all the mistake I had done in the street, I felt like I had not done any mistake, and I have a new home, and I feel like I am like any other kid anywhere. So I got a lot of confidence with my life.
What would you tell somebody who's watching and on this particular day where we are actually just advocating for more Mulis, more Dr. Mulis to come out and
that's a very good question.
What would you tell them?
In Kenya and in the world, we have many people who try to do this charity. Some people think that they are giving too small, and there is nothing small when you are giving. Remember, even when you stand with the street, these desperate children, you give them even an ear. It gives them a lot of confidence to speak, and they feel loved. So people start and they don't continue because they have never gotten hope, or they think it's a very big mountain to climb. But I'm here to tell you today, whenever little you are giving to any needy person, it doesn't go in vain. Every small help, every small contribution, even little talk, even mentorship counts a lot. That means it's a small drop in the ocean, but after some time it's going to turn all the waters in the ocean, and everything will change. And that is what has made me to be who I am today.
Let's talk about who you are today.
Yes.
So you went into this children's home.
Yes.
Before, you were just limited to, let me find something to eat, let me find some little money for alcohol and drugs, let me get the next victim that I'm going to steal from. And then you get into this children's home, and then your mindset changes. What happened, and how did your worldview change? What inspired it?
Through a lot of love and commitment from Daddy Muli and Mami Esther and the rest of the staff members, through the spiritual nourishment and engagement in so many sports and other things that kept me busy, for sure I transformed completely. And after high school, I also went to RVTTI to undertake a diploma in mechanical engineering for 3 years, which I graduated, of course, with a distinction. And got a job and came to Nairobi and found a job. But again, I met street kids again. The same place, River Road, I used to be. I found street kids there. That is what changed my mind. And I said I cannot lie to myself anymore. I'm meeting these kids. I used to be here. I think I need to do something. And slowly by slowly, I started engaging myself into street families. And after some times, not very long, I quitted from my job and officially started helping street children.
So that is how the Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center
started.
That is how it was birthed.
Yes.
So you quit your job as an engineer to go back to the streets.
Yes.
Many would find that a very difficult decision to make. I mean, you've been in the streets all your life. All anyone would want is just to get out of it and be comfortable somewhere. So why would you do that?
I felt that I had a debt. I needed to pay some debt somewhere. And that is one way of appreciating Dr. Muli. And also giving back, also to thank the Almighty God for changing my life, was to do similar thing, because I just felt I don't have anything that can stop me from doing that. Not just a matter of money, but I felt even my presence itself. It was a radical move, let me tell you, Serfine.
It wasn't
because
an easy decision.
Lost friends. Many people blocked me from their phones because they thought maybe I became cheesy. Kichwangu imeruka, but I never lost hope. I said, I'm going to do this despite what. And a long way also Dr. Muli came in, and this thing went smoothly, and it's running till
How many years down the line now?
I think it started in May 2013. 8 years now. And for already we have been able to rehabilitate over 200 former street, and it's boys and young men, no girls, you can imagine. For
people who don't understand how this works, because you said something very important about, you think this is a mountain and you'd want to help, but you think it's a very big mountain that you may not climb it to the top. So you say, I'd rather just stay, let me not involve myself in that the problems that person is going through. You've been in this for quite a while, and somebody also held your hand. No wonder you're here today. What would you tell them to encourage them to just take that one step to begin climbing that mountain in helping someone?
You just start from where you are. You don't wait until time comes, because time for hope is not measured, is not known, is indefinite. So you just start now. And you know, every step you are making, you will get obstacles on the way, you will get discouragements, you lose friends. But remember, every small help you are giving counts somewhere. And it has a very big impact in the life of somebody, even the ones you don't know. You can imagine Dr. Muli did a lot of work in me, step by step. You can imagine how many lives have been transformed through me, through this one help that I got. So any help you give, it's very good for you to know that it counts somewhere. Even if people don't see, God in heaven sees, and is going to reward you in a way that you cannot measure. Yeah.
And there are many like you. You at the children's home, you saw many come in sniffing glue, and they were dirty, and they were, people who would be branded as social misfits, and they were transformed, and they became, share with us those success stories about you, the alumni, your friends, people you connect with today, whom you went through the same program with.
Yes. Let me start here a bit, nyuma kidogo. When I started bringing those kids in my home in Ngong, people started saying I'm breeding criminals. And when we started engaging these boys into education and other arts programs, sports, they emerged the best. Academically, you can imagine they are hitting everyone in Ngong, both primary and secondary school. We have boys who are in university now. We have others who are undertaking technical courses. In sports, I think our club is the best football club also there. And I think it motivates me so much to see such boys who lived somewhere hopelessly, and they're now turning to be professions who are going to take care of this country in few years to come. So it gives me a lot of motivation to feel that I did not lose anything. Until this point, comparing to my profession, engineering, and the call of God, I think I've not lost anything till this point.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah. Must you have extra to give?
Sorry?
Must somebody?
No.
Must you have extra?
No. You give what God has blessed you with. Because if you start looking at what you have extra, you will not have that extra to give. You just start with what is a journey. You just start and you do it and you forget. You do another one and you don't keep record of what you give. You are going to get a lot of success in it.
And in this journey, it's not easy. There are some who will be rebellious along the way. There are some who will not appreciate what you're doing in their lives. How do you deal with those hiccups as a giver? Let me use that term, because I'm sure in fact, you were sharing with me earlier how you are one of the rebels. Dr. Muli would come and look for you and take you back to the children's home, and you ran away, and he kept doing that over and over again. Talk to us about how to deal with those blows as you're trying to be a good person.
First of all, when you're doing this kind of charity, especially running CCIs like what we do, you find that you have to go in line with the government, you have to go in line with the public, you have to obey your church, you have to also do good to the beneficiaries you are helping. And sometimes when you are undertaking all those activities, sometimes those boys run away from the institution, they go back, sniff glue, you have already paid school fees for them, and you have to go back and pick them. And it reached this point when I lost hope, and I told Daddy Muli, I'm giving up, because these boys are running away so much, and I'm giving up. And he told me, you remember you used to run away, now it's your time. So the same way you used to enjoy me, now it's your time to do it. And I went back, and he told me, you will not do for long, just put your focus on those boys and know what you are doing. And I went back, and I never lost hope. Until now, it's a successful story.
And it is quite an inspiring story. Wonderful job you're doing there with the boys. You. Some have excelled, others are prefects, others are on the way to going to college and pursuing great courses. Look at what just that show of kindness, that act of giving did in your life, and now you're planting the same seed in the lives of these young boys, and they will do the same to others. As we bring this conversation to a close, I want to give you this platform to just look at that camera and encourage somebody. We need more like you, we need more like Dr. Muli, we need more givers in our society, so that we can all be equal, and we can all help the vulnerable. Just your words of encouragement.
The world we are living now has a lot of dimensions, and many people, we are reaching a point where everyone is focusing by himself or herself, but it's very important to also make a follow-up on who you are living, who your neighbors are, and how they are living. The small help, the small impact you give in your community or with your neighbor, or helping a child to go to school, or feeding a family, that is not something that should be taken for granted. For people who are aspiring to do that, or they have already started, never lose hope in that. Never even listen to someone to encourage you, tell you you are doing the right. For now, I tell you, you are doing the right thing, and in the right time, you are going to see the goodness of whatever deeds you have done. Keep up and never lose hope. God is with us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph Njoroge, for creating time for us. Joseph Njoroge Wanyoike is the founder and CEO of Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center in Ngong. And of course, he has just been here to share with us the story of success when it comes to giving and being charitable. He says that he's here today courtesy of a helping hand that was extended to him by none other than Dr. Muli and his family, who is running a children's home in Dalani. Thank you so much, and extend our regards to Dr. Muli himself. We appreciate what he's doing for the children there. Yeah, and on that note, this brings us to the end of our conversation. It's International Day of Charity. Do something. It does not matter how little or how big it is. Just do something for somebody. It will go a long way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching so far.